When you look up the textbook definition of anxiety, you find a specific set of symptoms: excessive worry, constant rumination, and deep psychological dread. Why that fails. Adults have the vocabulary and maturity to articulate complex fears. Children do not. When stress enters a child's brain, it bypasses language, hitting a roadblock and routing straight into the physical body and outward behavior. Because we are listening for words they don't yet possess, thousands of students silently navigate mental health crises, while adults write them off as simple behavioral problems. You often see this play out academically. Take a historically strong B+ student who suddenly starts missing assignments and drifting off mid-lesson. The immediate adult reflex is to label this behavior. We assume it's a sudden onset of ADHD, or we discipline them for a perceived lack of effort and laziness. In reality, an underlying unprocessed anxiety is overwhelming the brain with perceived threats, pulling so many cognitive resources that their executive function simply shuts down. You see a similar mask in social settings. A student might abruptly quit the soccer team they used to love, or start sitting entirely alone in the loud cafeteria. It is incredibly easy to brush this off as a normal developmental phase, assuming the adolescent is just outgrowing their old interests and friend groups. But this kind of rapid social isolation is an involuntary protective mechanism. The brain is already overstimulated by internal anxiety, so it forces the student to withdraw to avoid absorbing any more external triggers. Sudden academic decline and social withdrawal are unconscious defensive strategies, requiring our curiosity and investigation rather than our discipline. The most deceptive mask of all doesn't look like an emotion or a behavior. It shows up as frequent, unexplained physical complaints, like chronic nausea or severe headaches that mysteriously peak between Tuesday and Friday. Often, these symptoms vanish entirely over the weekend, the moment the student is physically removed from the environment that triggers them. This 7-day timeline shows the Sunday scaries. Anticipatory anxiety builds quietly on Saturday, culminating in a massive stress spike Sunday evening as the school week looms. The student isn't faking this. Their body translates emotional distress into authentic physical pain. Recognizing the biological reality of this stress means adults no longer have to act as skeptical enforcers of attendance and can instead begin investigating the root cause. For teachers on the front lines, the goal is documentation. Note the specific days the headaches happen or when the focus drops, without attempting to diagnose the child yourself. Educators can then use that specific written timeline to initiate a warm, non-judgmental handoff to the student's family. For parents, the intervention starts at the dinner table. Avoid direct questions like, "Are you anxious?" because, again, they do not have the vocabulary to accurately answer you. Instead, rely on open-ended observations. Saying, "I noticed you've been quiet lately. What feels heavy right now?" invites a conversation without triggering their defenses. Adjusting the language we use to inquire about their day creates a safe, accessible off-ramp for the student to admit they are struggling. Of course, recognizing these hidden signs only matters if schools and families actually have a way to access immediate professional intervention. For public school districts in Georgia, MentalSpace School is the operational bridge closing that gap, providing students with same-day teletherapy access. This flowchart shows the integration. Bypassing waitlists, a student connects directly to a dedicated therapist embedded in that exact school's culture. This structure offers zero out-of-pocket costs for Georgia Medicaid families and turnkey compliance for the HB 268 mandate. By implementing a structural mental health framework, districts can stop disciplining misdiagnosed symptoms and start delivering real relief. You can begin that process today at